Hello folks, today I've got a video showcasing the loot from some lockpicking contracts. So the strategy here is to try to farm as many fractured jewels and whatnot as possible inside of the lockpicking contracts. So we're running all the contracts rare. I've got my rogue all set up. You can see the gear on him at the beginning there, but effectively his gear and then my trinket, we're looking at getting the chance to get extra jewels drop, okay? And so while we're in the map, we're running the map, the strategy is prioritize the jewelry chests, and then after that, the fragment chests, and then third, the currency chests. Basically, we're hoping that we get some big fractured jewels that can sell for a lot of divines. And then the other thing that can drop in here that can sell for a lot of divines is synth belts. You can get the percent increase attribute synth belts, and they sell for multiple div as well. So trying to hope for a hit on this. We're going to run 20 contracts. My build can run about 20 contracts an hour, so that's why I chose 20 contracts. So this should take roughly an hour to do. And yeah, so what we'll do is I'll leave that here. You guys can continue on watching the run if you'd like, or I'll put a timestamp down below so you can skip to the loot and see what I was able to get from these 20 lockpicking contracts. Okay, folks, so here is what's left of the fractured jewelry after I vendored everything that was under 5C. Um, the crux of the lockpicking strategy is the fractured jewelry. That's where you're going to make most of your money. All the other stuff, like, it adds up and it's nice, but the big ticket items are going to come from the fractured jewelry. Now, you might notice that I have 9 divs sitting here, and that's because in the process of making this video, I actually sold one of the items. I'll put that video here. Okay, so I sold that. It was a tier 1 lightning damage fractured Ghastly Eye Jewel, and I saw on Awakened PoE trade that there was a bunch of them up there for like 10 divs, so I put up for 9, thinking like, oh, I'd sell it pretty quick, make some quick profit. And of course, it was in there for like 5 minutes and it sold. So yeah, anytime you get like a T1 added fracture on a jewel, that's worth big bucks. Okay, so that's 9 div. I'm going to actually put this aside in the calculation for the currency per hour because this is a bit of an outlier. I'll put this in my outliers tab, and we'll calculate the all the rest of this stuff. That's just like, in the 5 to 30C range, and then I'll put this aside and we'll look at the price of both. Okay, so what else do I have in this tab? I'll just kind of hover these things and talk quickly about it. So anytime you get attributes about on a iJewel, probably 20C. Anytime you get attributes on belts, that's probably 5C to 10C, and if it's a tier 1, it can be like 20 to 30C. Anytime you get life on an amethyst ring, that's 30C. Got 2 of those. Trap throwing speed 5C. Anytime there's crit, unless it's T1, it's probably 5C. All res on jewels sells really quickly, and people love these. So yeah, 25C, and this one actually duped, so it's 50C total. 5C for low tier crit mods on amulets. There's another all res one for another 25C. This one I wasn't really sure of. I hadn't had this drop before. I just put up for 5C damage with Val skills. It's probably just like mid. Mana on a ring 5C. Mana on a ring again, 5C. Anytime you get an attribute that is tier 1 on a ring, you're looking at a minimum of 20C, and depending on the base, it could be more. 5C for like lower tier ES rolls. If you got tier 1, you're looking at like, you could be anywhere from 40 to 50C, depending on the ring. Reduce ignite duration. Any of these like reduce element durations are about 5C. Anytime you get a recoup is pretty expensive. There's some builds out there that like rely on recoup, so they want a recoup fracture. This one is about 10C because it's tier 2. Tier 1 can be a lot of money though, and that one is a bit more up in the air on the price. So I'm not gonna like quote a price on that, but I've sold them upwards of a div, so that's definitely something that can drop, that can make you a lot of money. And then added damage on Ghastly Jewels. As I said before, with this one here, that was a higher tier. These can sell for a lot if they're really high tier. If they're like low tier like this is tier 5, they'll still sell because people are still looking for these, but they won't be as good. All right, so that's basically it. I'll add all of that up, and then we'll reconvene at the spreadsheet. Thanks. So here's the spreadsheet for the run. So lockpicking contracts, 20 contracts. I took the currency information off of Wealthy Exile. I'll post the screen cap of that here. So basically, I put everything in there from Wealthy Exile, and then I added up all the costs of the fracture items and the synth items. And this is all in chaos, by the way. The price of the rogues markers. This was a lockpicking contract, so no deception wing reveal value. That's only Gianna. ADC of rogue gear dropped as well. And then I've left this blank for now. And you can see the total chaos value of that hour was 642, or at the current rate of div, 5.13 div. So you can make a very consistent 5 div an hour doing this strat. However, if I add in the 9 div gas leak jewel that dropped, so that's I think 1125, something like that, chaos. Then we go up to 14.13 div. So there's a pretty big variance in this, of course, just because you're getting big ticket items every once in a while. I would say it's more than 5 div an hour. It's probably not as much as 14 div an hour. That's obviously a very lucky hour. But I would say it's probably in the range of 7 to 8 div an hour pretty consistently. So if you're looking for a strategy that you want to make like 7 or 8 div an hour and you don't want to have to do like tier 17 maps and get blasted, then this is a great strat. If you watch the video, you might notice I didn't die at any point throughout the hour. So it was just, very consistent currency, and it wasn't frustrating. It wasn't bashing my head against the wall, right? So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, lockpicking is really good. I'm going to be testing some other strats out. I'll keep this information in here, and then we'll just keep adding rows to it as we test out the different strategies. Now, I said in a couple of my last videos that I thought that deception got really nerfed, and I know for a fact, like, you're not making even 5 div an hour, let alone 14 div an hour in deception. I was only making like 1.7 div an hour or something like that. Like, it was really low. So I feel like those contracts are like pretty dead in terms of like just running them for profit. But if you want to do blueprints, then you do have to do those. But there are other types of contracts out there that give you like the extra reveal. It's not just Gianna, Niles does it as well. So there's a possibility that maybe like perception or counter thaumaturgy could end up being like a really profitable strat. So I think I might test one of those next. But anyway, that's the result for today. If you like this video, like and sub. Thanks a lot, guys.